Hello, folks. This is your own reporter reporting for the Borderless Africa channel. Today we want to bring you an important issue concerning the ongoing charges leveled against Israel at the International Justice Court by South Africa. And what is so shocking to me is the silence by the Ghanaian government. South Africa is the last to gain independence, and Ghana being the first, or let's say the second, if we regard Egypt to be in Africa, the Ghana is the second to gain independence. And in among, what we may call black people, or what some people would say sub-Saharan Africa, which I do not agree with, Ghana could be said to be the first to gain independence in sub-Saharan Africa, even though I do not agree with that sectionalism of Africa. When South Africa went to the court, it was very emotional for some of us, because South Africa stood very lonely, very, very lonely amongst the nations who were so scared to do what South Africa was doing. But as written in all good books, the first shall be the last, and the last shall be the first. In the past, Ghana has been championing everything that is moral and just in our coat of arms: freedom and justice. Ghana has been championing, a small nation called Ghana has been championing what is just right on the African continent, morally, politically, and spiritually. Where is that Ghana today? That the last nation to gain independence on the African continent is the one that took a genocidal Israel to International Criminal Court. And he stood there for the first day alone, and the second day alone, before other nations reluctantly standing up as if something, reluctantly standing up to support. Turkey came, Egypt came, all the Arab nations were silent, scared to stand up to what is obviously a genocide. South Africa laid out all the criminalities, the evidences, which Israel itself have incriminated itself, from Netanyahu to the generals, of what they wanted to do, videotaping it and sending it to their soldiers, who acting on what their generals and their prime minister say they should do. And as they did it, bombing the people, they feel so elected, videotaped themselves for delivering what their generals and their political leaders asked them to do. And that is overwhelming evidence that they've created, because they feel so above the law that nobody can come up against them, and nobody can take them to any court. They are the court, and they are the law. South Africa amidst all these incriminating and arrogant evidences that they've arrogantly created as a show of, South Africa, like the lamb, stood over there among the lions who were ready to not listen and ready to even attack South Africa based on all these evidences they've created, incriminating themselves, but don't care. You know, if I personally want to talk about justice, I won't be here talking about Arabs. Because what the Arabs did to us as black people, well, if we can take Israel to court, then one day we're going to take the whole Arab people to court. But here I am as a human being. I cannot see an Arab falling in front of me, and I will never rush to find out what is wrong with him or her. I can't do that as a human being. And I cannot do that with any human being, being it a Caucasian, a Belgian, an Englishman, an American, an Australian, a Netherlands, a Dutch, a French, an Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Asian, Indian, Filipino, Indonesian, Hawaiian, Fijian, New Zealander. I cannot do that as a human being. And in front of me, a person is falling up, or something is happening to that person and happen to come from anywhere on the earth, and I will just walk by. Being a human being, I cannot do that. So for that reason, whatever the Arabs did to us, which I know is wrong, that one day we have to take them to a court, I cannot stand idle for what is going on with the Palestinians, because they're just human beings as I am. And for South Africa standing up for Palestinians, when Arabs were reluctant to do the same, is something that we need to applaud South Africans for their understanding of Ubuntu, standing for one human being, or standing for humanity. Now, where Ghana falls into this equation is there are Arabs in Ghana, Lebanese, doing good business in Ghana. They have influence among our political elite. They commit a lot of crimes that is covered by our political elite. Economically, they were very successful. Back in the days before Rollins would come, these people use counterfeit money to pay out their workers, use counterfeit dollars to pay their Ghanaian women that they sleep with and give them counterfeit money. They did all kind of horrible things in Ghana and grew financially on this counterfeiting and all kind of financial malpractices. Don't pay their taxes. So they built on these negativities to where they are today. Not all of them were good businessmen. They came to a country where we were corrupt, and we aided them in their corruption to be where they are today. So they have a very influential, they are a very influential category of immigrants in our country, and very successful at that. And they know our politicians on both sides, and they have many of them in their pockets. So I know what I'm talking about. They are very influential to our politicians. Our politicians aid them to make a lot of money, and they give them a kickback. So when South Africa is standing alone in that court, even though the Ghanaian government was the first person to give carte blanche to Israel when this war started, the president was the first person to give the Israeli government, you know, moral support by supporting them. By doing that, Israel have taken that moral support to do what it's doing today, or to do what they did to the Palestinians up to now. The killing, the children, the bombing of hospitals, and so on and so forth. Because everybody say, go ahead, go and retaliate. The government of Ghana might bow its head in shame for giving this corrupt nation a moral support. But government can all the time retract and say, no, even though we support you for what Hamas have did, or what Hamas did, or what Hamas have done to you, we cannot support you going forward on killing innocent people, children, hospitals, healthcare centers. Government can all the time come and retract and support the South Africans. But up to now, Ghana, as a nation, cannot do that. And it's not doing that. And the Arab community in Ghana can at least appeal to the government so that we know that they care. They kept quiet in Ghana. They can call a press conference. They used to do that. The Arab community, the Lebanese community, the Syrian community, they know how to reach the press in Ghana. They know. They've been doing it. I've been seeing them. We've been witnessing it. But they kept quiet. At least come out as a group to appeal to the government so that we all know that you care. You know these politicians, you have their numbers, you know them by the first name. You know how to reach them when you are in trouble financially, either evading taxes or doing something or doing that. You know how to reach them and get yourself out and let your businesses flourish. You know how to do that. But you can't come together as a group of Lebanese and Syrians, so-called Middle Easterners, or Arabs as a group and say, we are appealing to the government to stand with South Africa. You could not do that, you Arabs in Ghana. You Lebanese in Ghana, you could not do that. The government don't care for them. Whoever pays them, the government is all the time. Our government and government officials are nothing but prostitutes. Nothing but prostitutes. Who pays them right, they'll go down. They will go down. They will go down and take that pipe and pocket that money. Politicians are prostitutes. But you can influence them. You can call them on out and say, Ghana, we know where you come from Kwame Nkrumah to through Rawlings and through all the great leaders. You have been a champion of morality. So the way things are going, speak up. We are appealing to you to speak up. At least do your best. They're not going to round you up and put you in jail for appealing for what is right. The Lebanese. I'm not here for the politicians, but for Ghana as a nation that we know that is the one all the time being the champion of morality, political morality. It is a shame that South Africa stood there alone for a couple of days before other nations. Turkey is standing by them now. Egypt is standing by. Morocco is standing by them now. I think some few Arab nations reluctantly coming up to support South Africa. But where is Ghana? As for Nigeria, we know it's not the Nigerian people. Nigerian people are Pan-Africanists. Their government is a British company. Yeah, Nigerians are good people, but their government is a business in the pocket of the British and the Europeans. It's a business. Nigeria is a business. It's a corporation, not the Nigerian people. So Nigerian people, I'm standing with you. I know what you can do, but your government is a business. The whole Nigeria is a business territory for Oliver Brothers. and the British Crown. So there are a lot of things that they cannot do, but we know what Murtala Muhammad did for Angola. That's where they took him out. We know what you can do. We know what you can do, Nigeria. We know what you can do. But when the right leader is not there in Nigeria, it becomes what it is. But for Ghana, it's a shame that Ghana is not standing with South Africa. It is a shame that Ghana is not standing with South Africa. It's a shame. It is a shame. It's not too late, because other nations are still coming to support South Africa. So it's not too late for Ghana to make the U-turn to support South Africa based on morality. Israel is not a children of God. And I know the politics of Ghana at this moment is trying to appeal to the Ghanaian crowd that standing with Israel is religious thing. It's a godly thing. It's a damn lie. Museveni, in front of Netanyahu and the whole cabinet, told them that in my country, our people think you are Christian, but you are not Christian. And they were just laughing like it's a joke. Netanyahu further told them that if things were played right, Uganda will have been the place that you will be, and we will be the one fighting you. They were laughing as if it was a joke. Yeah, because Uganda was picked to be the holy land for these people. Argentina was picked to be the holy land for these people. And later on, Palestine was given to them as the holy land. So Museveni was telling them, will be the people you'll be fighting, and we will never take it easy on you. And they were laughing. He told them, people think you're Christian, but you are not Christian. They know they were not Christian, but in Ghana, our leaders think because they want to fool the Ghanaian people who claim they are Christian. And Ghanaians are not Christian, they are hypocrites. Ghanaian Christians are hypocrites. They are not. And the politicians are using that to get to them emotionally. So the government is trying to prove to the Ghanaian that the government is a Christian, has a Christian value, or they win the election through God. You know, they win their political battles through God. And the people believe that. So for them, it's a strategy. By standing with Israel, made them, you know, made them pandering, you know, they were pandering to the Christian crowd in Ghana that it's a godly thing to stand with Israel. Israel is not a Christian nation. It's not a godly nation. The headquarters of all homosexuals in the Middle East is there. It has nothing to do, they are not godly. They are not godly. They are Talmudists. And in the Talmud, the Talmud is telling them that anything that belongs to those who are not in their faith, they should take it by force. In the same Talmud, the Talmud is telling them that a 3-year-old child is ripe for having a sexual relationship with a 3-year-old child. I'm not the one who wrote it. These people are not Torah. Conveniently, they will quote the Torah, but they don't follow anything in the Torah. They follow what the Talmud told them or telling them to do. So they are not Christian. They are not even the followers of Torah. But your politicians, Ghanaian politicians, who align with them to fool the masses who think they are Christian, that our government is with Israel and our government is godly. It's a lie. You can believe it or you cannot believe it. But the people that you call Israelis are nowhere near the presence of what you call God. They are nowhere near the laws of God. And everybody knew, except the Ghanaian government, who is lying to their people that they are aligned with some godly people and it's a godly thing to do. But it's not too late. You see, Palestinians are human beings, just like me and you. As I said earlier, if I have to take what the Arabs did to us as a race of people, killing us, castrating us, you know, it will not be right for me to even say I support the Palestinians or anybody that is close to Arabs. But as a human being, I cannot turn my back to a fellow human being when I see him falling, simply because of the color of his skin. That is too primitive, too inhumane. The color of skin, that I will see an old lady, a child in pain, and I walk by because of the color of his skin, the texture of his hair. Animals can't even do that, let alone human beings. So for that reason, those who are trying to commit genocide or have committed genocide, we should stand up in solidarity and make sure that they are punished or they are called out. And any kind of respect we associate with them, being in religious, spiritual, or whatever, we should take it out until they turn their back to become human again. We cannot stay in this world, on this earth, with people who are inhumane to other people. And the South Africans knew this very well. South Africans knew people who are related to the state of Israel very well. Most Dutch people are these people. And the South Africans knew them. They knew how they helped them to create the apartheid regime and enforce it. Israel and South African apartheid regime had a nuclear program. When Mandela came out from prison, they packed all those nuclear arsenal into where? To Israel. They dismantled it. Oh, it was better when they had the power and the apartheid to be nuclear. When black people are coming, South Africa is no more nuclear. What are they trying to use the nuclear for? Because Nigeria was ready to march. Ethiopia was ready to march. Zimbabwe was ready to march. Africans were ready to march on apartheid South Africa. And they were holding Namibia as a buffer zone against Africa. But when Namibia fell after the battle in Quito Valley, when the Cubans came in to help the Africans and smash the South African army, a lot of them recruits from high school. After smashing them and kicking them out, Namibia fell. So when Namibia fell, Namibia became an African nation close to South Africa. It was there they decided that it's time for apartheid to go, because now Africa is close to their border. That is the reason. But when they had Namibia as a buffer zone, Namibia is so big, they knew if when you are coming with their flight, they control Namibia, they will shoot you down. When you're coming with your troop, you have to cross Namibia, they will attack you. So South Africa was so protected from Africa because of Namibia being in the middle between them and the rest of Africa. But when Namibia fell and SWAPO became the government, it was there they say, the bullshit is over. These people are coming. They are too close to home now. That is the reason why. But they thought if that war would have been busted out, they would use nuclear. And who was behind them with this nuclear arsenal? Israel. So the South Africans knew these people long. They knew them better than the rest of Africa. They knew them. South Africans knew these people. They knew them. They knew how terrible and horrible they are. They control their minds. They knew them. The Oppenheimers, the De Beer, they knew them. South Africans knew these people. The rest of the world used kid glue to massage them and not to hurt their feelings. South Africans knew these people. They knew them. All the evils in South Africa is them. South Africans knew these people. They don't treat them with kid gloves. They are not ready to pat them like the rest of the world is doing. South Africans just knew these people. They knew them. How they control their economy. How they are the part of the people who author the apartheid law. They knew them. Half of Dutch people are these people. And for Ghanaians who don't know, in our passport for longest time, it was at the back of the passport. There's two countries that they stamped that this passport cannot go. Israel and South Africa. It was stamped in our passport that this passport shall not go to, or will not go to, or wherever you phrase the English word, to Israel and apartheid South Africa. This passport is not going there. We're not going there. We have no relationship with these two nations. It has been in our passport for the longest. Unless you children who came out yesterday in the 2000s, where our passport had been changed, reduced to a small piece of paper, that they took that thing out. But the old passport, that is the big passport that we used to, the black one, is all the time stamped at the back of it. This passport will not go, shall not go to Israel and South Africa. What's wrong with that stand in Ghana? What's wrong? Israel hasn't changed. South Africa changed, so we could go to South Africa. Israel hasn't changed. That stamp's supposed to be in our passport back again, that this passport shall not go to Israel. But what changed? The policy of massaging these people by our politicians, our corrupt politicians. Israel is all the time there to come and help you with technology. The technology that Israel is all the time used as an apple to attract us is all over the world now. Netanyahu is all the time, oh, we could help you with this, we are good at this, we are this, our doctors this, our doctors that, our agriculture this, our agriculture that, we could help you with irrigation. No, those technology, we can find them in Africa. So nobody should use technology to attract you. And they've been saying that those things long time, and those technologies are not in Africa. But they use those technology to foray into Africa. When you accept us, we could do this for you. When you accept us, we could do this for you. That is Netanyahu for you. But those technologies are not in Africa. But they have gained so much into Africa, including coming to be an observer, even trying to be in ECOWAS. I don't know how they could be in ECOWAS coming from Northeast Africa. It used to be Northeast Africa. It used to be Northeast of Africa, and they took it from us and call it Middle East. Middle East started with Israel, according to Netanyahu. When he was speaking last time at the UN, the original of Middle East started with a small strip of land called Israel. Now, guess what he was trying to do? A month before this war at the UN, he expanded the the Middle East up to Sudan, the new Middle East. Netanyahu, go and watch it. His speech in the just ended a United Nations Assembly, annual assembly. He was there. Show us a map of the original Middle East, which is a strip of land called Israel, to the modern Middle East, which has extended to North Africa. Now you can tell why there's a war in Sudan, because after every war, a map will change. After every war, map changes. The global map changes after every war. After every war, your map changes. But now, all that thing is thrown into the garbage now, because he was trying to get to, with a lot of nations that he mentioned that they are about to accept them, all that nations have retracted. It was just a month before the war. Okay, so Ghanaian politicians, it's not too late. Don't bend your head in shame. There's no shame retracting your support for Israel based on humanity. It's no shame to say we stand with South Africa. South Africans knew these people than you politicians in Ghana knew them. They knew who they are. You can't blame the South Africans. South Africans have been at the mercy of these people, financially, militarily, and all the negative things that have created the apartheid system. That's when Mandela called it what it is. They were practicing Israel, apartheid, because they can see, they can smell it miles away. We in Africa can't. They come, they smile at us, they promise us heaven and earth in technology, and we embrace them. South Africans are not massaging these people with kid glove. They're not with a velvet glove. They're not going to do it because they know the truth. And the truth shall set us free.